Hello and welcome to another one of my flight reviews. Tonight we're going to be flying the wholly owned low-cost subsidiary of Singapore Airlines, that of course is Scoot. We're going to be doing it with a little bit of a twist however, not your usual budget low-cost flight. We're going to be flying ScootPlus, formerly known as Scoot Biz, which for all intents and purposes is a relatively premium cabin offering by the Singapore low-cost airline amongst its highly dense, low-frills Boeing 787 aircraft. How you really define ScootPlus as an airline product really is up for debate. In the past it's commonly been referred to as a budget business class, though these days it's more commonly referred to as a premium economy product with a few trim downs in the perks that come with it. And we are not being all too uncommon for ScootPlus to be priced similar to that of a regular Singapore Airlines economy class flight. I can see this product being really appealing to a certain segment of the travelling public. So without further ado, come join me on this recent 5-hour overnight flight between Perth and Singapore as we get to experience what this premium cabin offering on one of the world's largest low-cost airlines really is like. And ultimately whether it's worth spending the extra cash as a low-cost intermediate step up to a full-fledged business class, or indeed even a good alternative to a full-service economy class airline. Good evening and welcome to Perth International Airport. We just got off the airport line train, only took us about 20 minutes or so from the centre of the city, and this evening is going to be a very exciting occasion. I'm going to be reviewing and indeed flying Scoot for the very first time. We're going to be flying on a Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. Really looking forward to this one. It's the start of a new trip where I'm predominantly going to be travelling around the Kimberley region of West Australia, but I'm actually taking a very special flight in a few days' time. We're going to be flying the inaugural Jetstar Asia Airbus A320 service between Singapore and Broome. Interestingly enough, when I booked this flight about 4 weeks or so ago, I was really shocked at how expensive flights seem to be in the month of June between Perth and Singapore. I know Singapore Airlines generally charge a bit of a premium for one-way only flights, but their flights are over $1,200 each way, and that was just in economy class. And even Qantas was $850 each way. Then came along Scoot, a bare bones economy class product was $480 each way. No luggage, no food, no seat selection, no nothing. Very expensive if you ask for my opinion. But they had ScootPlus, which I believe formerly used to be known as Scoot Biz before about 2019, something like that. That was only $630. And when I did the maths, it was only about $150 or so more. But I'm getting a recliner seat with much better leg room, and I'm also getting a pretty basic meal included as well, 30 kilos baggage allowance, also priority check-in and boarding. By the time I would have to pay for luggage, add a meal, select a seat, really there wasn't actually much in it, maybe $50 or so. So it really is a no-brainer to fly ScootPlus tonight. Never really anticipated flying a budget sort of business class product, poor man's business class, premium economy, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it's a bit of a bare bones business class or premium economy experience. Really interested to see how it goes. We're about 3 hours and 15 minutes to go now, so hopefully I'll use that priority check-in, get checked in right away. That way we can head to the Spire Lounge to enjoy some amazing plane spotting before we head off to Singapore tonight. Before we head into airport terminal, let's have a look at the route information for flight TR17 that's going to be scooting us up to Singapore Changi this evening. Going to be maxing out at 40,000 feet as we travel up the western coastline of WA, out over the Indian Ocean before we skirt the western flank of Java, up through Sumatra and then down into Singapore in the wee hours of tomorrow morning around 2:30 AM. Gazetta flight time on this one is 5 hours and 40 minutes. Smooth conditions tonight, we're going to do it in shy under 5 hours. As I've done more than a few handful of flight reviews out of Perth now, won't go into the full details about Perth Airport, be sure to check out my other flight reviews for those. But in a nutshell, it's the 4th busiest international airport in Australia, as is Perth also the 4th most populated city in Australia. According to the latest statistics, it serviced 12.1 million yearly passenger movements. About a third of those were international. And yeah, today we're flying out of the main original T1 International. Whilst Perth Airport was one of the first international terminals in Australia to adopt self-service check-in kiosks and automatic bag drops, fortunately this facility isn't available for Scoot or other budget carriers here in Perth. It's only available currently for Air New Zealand, Cathay Pacific, Emirates, Malaysian Airlines, Philippine Airlines, Qatar Airways and Singapore Airways. So other airlines you do have to check in the old-fashioned way, such as on Scoot this evening. Part of the perks with flying with ScootPlus is that it comes with a 30 kilo checked baggage allowance, also a beefed up onboard cabin baggage allowance of 15 kilos. Also has priority check-in as well, which I think will come in very handy. This was filmed after I checked in, but yeah, let's see how the check-in experience actually was and whether that priority check-in came in handy. And just like that, we're all checked in for our Scoot flight up to Singapore tonight. Check-in a little bit of a disappointing experience, to be honest, tonight. I usually get to check in about 15 minutes before the check-in counters officially open at the 3-hour window. There was already a massive queue waiting, no signage or anything as to which lines passengers should queue up with. Anyway, once check-in did open, it actually opened about 10 minutes late, which was a little bit disappointing, them being late when there's a huge amount of passengers to process. They finally did light up the displays and yeah, I headed over to the priority queue. There's already a few people in front of me, but yeah, got served pretty quick. Within a few minutes once it finally opened, all good, all very easy for Singapore. No visa requirements required for Australians. You do need to complete your declaration online before you get there. Also quick health questionnaire as well. All very easy for Singapore. Unfortunately, unlike many full-service airlines here, you can't use the self-serve machine. So yeah, you do have to visit the manual counter. So that definitely slows things down a bit. Anyway, let's head through security and immigration now. If you are noticing improvement in my video quality, that's because I've invested in a DJI Pocket 3. Quite expensive device these, but they're essentially a gimbal camera. Very good for low light conditions, I'm advised. So hopefully you see improvement. That does mean I need to make a tax refund. So that's going to take a few minutes. I'll get the GST back on what I paid on this because it's under $900. That's really good. Before we head over to outbound security and immigration, you'll be pleased to know the international terminal here in Perth is one of the better ones in terms of facilities and retail and dining. Small little food court, a bar and several retail outlets before you depart internationally. So great place to stay with family and friends before you head off on an international flight. Also really cool public viewing deck there as well. So if you don't have access to the lounge and you want to kill some time, this is a really great place to go plane spotting. Or even for family and friends to see their travelling companions plane come in or depart. And just like that, we're through immigration and security here at Perth Airport. Immigration was absolute breeze. E-gates as always very efficient here in Perth. And tourist refund scheme, no one was there, only took a couple of minutes for that to be all processed. So $77 tax refund on its way now. Interestingly enough, security took a while. My bag was flagged for secondary and the people in front of me, this family of 4, they were taking diving equipment in their check-in luggage. They had diving belts, which are heavily weighted belts. And yeah, looks like they can't take that on board for due to how heavy they are, I think, something like that. So yeah, it's about 10 minutes waiting around for that to be resolved. And then when they finally checked my bag, they waved me right through. Anyway, with that slightly unfortunate security delay out of the way, we are now able to go to the Aspire Lounge. We're only going to have an hour or so in the lounge, but yeah, let's check it out now. Should be a good one. For information, the Aspire Lounge is the main public lounge here at Perth International Airport. You'll find it on the right hand side, centrally located just after clearing immigration and security, adjacent to gate 54. Once again, the great thing about this lounge is its accessibility to the public. Not only is it open 7 days a week, 4 AM to 2 AM the next day, it's also widely accessible with Dragon Pass, Lounge Key, and of course Priority Pass. Also available to select passengers of airlines flying business class that don't have their own lounge here in Perth. You can also pay by cash as well, $75 if you pre-book online. Walk-up rate I believe is $82.50. This is now my 4th visit to the Spire Lounge here in Perth. Never really disappoints. Definitely really love the futuristic, very stylistic seating options. That viewing deck as well is simply top-notch amazing. But you don't get unlimited lounge visits these days through the card I have. Only get 4 complimentary visits a year through Priority Pass. So yeah, this is definitely one I save up to use one of those passes. In terms of food and beverage, not a bad spread tonight. The 2 main hot options are the chicken aboto and the Thai red curry. Apart from that, you got a few continental options, cold cut meats, cakes, and that sort of stuff as well. Didn't film the bar area tonight as it was really quite crowded with many people ordering drinks to enjoy. But yeah, if you've got standard access like I do tonight, you've got access to beers, a variety of wines, and also house spirits and mixers, and of course tea and coffee, soft drinks and juices as well. If you are a premium lounge access user, you also got access to complimentary premium cocktails. I think that is only if you pay the full cash fare to enter the lounge. Maybe also if you're flying business class with select airlines, I would assume. No self-serve here, so very much a high quality tendered bar. So the bartenders will serve up your drinks and even make your barista made coffee. How good is that? Anyway, as you can probably see right here from the lounge, here is our Scoot Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner arriving at the gate from Singapore this evening. Registration on this one is 9 Victor Oscar Juliet Alpha. First delivered direct to Scoot in January 2015. So putting this at 9.9 years of age of time of taking the flight. Anyway, after a very enjoyable 2 hours or so in the lounge, which I must stress is not included as a part of the ScootPlus experience, now time to head to the gate and get on board, which is very conveniently located just downstairs from the lounge. Similar to most conventional business class fares on other airlines, ScootPlus does entail you to priority boarding. So yeah, you can board first up or anytime at your leisure due to a dedicated boarding lane. So that comes really in handy. Not like we're going to be needing to get on the plane early to enjoy pre-departure champagne or anything like that, but still nice to get on board nice and early, settle into that comfy seat and get our bag sorted well ahead of the other passengers. So welcome aboard our Scoot Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. According to Seat Guru, there's a total of 375 seats on this aircraft, 35 of which are in ScootPlus. Located in the front forward cabin of the aircraft, ScootPlus is configured in a 2-3-2 configuration. Legroom is pretty good with these leather recliner seats. About 38 inches of seat pitch, which is roughly similar to Qantas or Virgin Australia 737 business class. Seat width is also marginally better than that of the folks out the back in economy. For ScootPlus passengers, you don't have a fold back tray table, instead you've got a rather sturdy tray table that pops out of the armrest beside you. Aside from that, you'll find your usual in-flight literature located in the seat pocket in front of you. You've got your safety card, air sickness bag, Scoot catalogue, also the in-flight menu, which do take note, flying ScootPlus is still a relevant buy on board menu, because aside from one complimentary free hot meal that you select in advance, also a complimentary non-alcoholic beverage, everything else you're still going to have to pay for. Talking of complimentary, you do technically get a pre-departure welcome drink. If you think you're going to get champers, you're well and truly chosen the wrong airline. However, you do get a sealed cup of water. Yes, a cup, not even a bottle. So once you open it, you go drink it straight away. So not very helpful really. Bit cheapskate to be honest, Not like this flight cost me absolutely nothing, still cost me 650 Australian dollars at the end of the day.
To Singapore, it's 4 hours and 50 minutes after takeoff, 4 hours and 50 minutes. Further en route, this journey will find some occasional rescue order instruments every now and then. And therefore, our recommend all of you keep our seatbelts fastened whenever you are seated, and so it's about time spent whenever they are switched on. We're just waiting for the final few passengers to board, then some of our documents to come aboard as well, then we will depart.
Directly behind ScootPlus, you also got the Scoot in silence cabin, which consists of 5 rows in a standard free configuration, where children under the age of 12 are not permitted to seat. Also, it does have better legroom in this area, similar to Virgin Economy X per se, 34 to 35 inches of seat pitch there. Further than that, in the main cabin, it's a standard free configuration. Seat pitch is around 31 inches. Anyway, more on the ScootPlus seat and what you can expect with the ScootPlus onboard experience once we get in the air. But for now, what better time to sit back, relax and enjoy our late night takeoff out of Perth International Airport tonight. Now that we're well and truly in the air on our way to cruising altitude of 40,000 feet, not much to see outside being late at night. Let's just get straight to the meal service on board Scoot tonight, which commences about an hour or so after takeoff. ScootPlus passengers are entitled to one hot meal from the buy on board menu, which you can pre-select prior to your flight online. I choose the Indonesian spicy chicken with rice. Really quite a tasty meal tonight. Certainly didn't win any marks for presentation or anything like that, but yeah, really quite spicy indeed. Really enjoyed it. There's also Western options you can choose from as well, in addition to several other Asian options. To accompany the meal, I also got what I think was a Singaporean produced packet of brownie brittles as well, so that was really good. You also do get one complimentary non-alcoholic beverage to accompany the meal as well, so I just asked for a can of Coke. Not very cold, but it did come with a cup with ice cubes. In addition to that cup of water you get on boarding, this pre-selected meal and non-alcoholic beverage really is the full extent of what's complimentary in ScootPlus. All from the usual buy on board menu, the same menu for the folks out the back, so nothing particularly exclusive about what food and beverage you're going to get in ScootPlus. More about the buy on board menu a little bit later, which you're more than welcome to order additional items from, but for now let's get straight into the seat features with our ScootPlus seat. In terms of the black leather seating on Scoot, seat pitch is a pretty respectable 38 inches. This is really especially so because Scoot don't advertise themselves as a business class product. In fact, it's actually pretty comparable to a business class product on a narrow body aircraft that Virgin Australia or Qantas operate. So very similar seat to what you may end up even flying between the east coast of Australia and Bali on Qantas or Virgin Australia. Also, your seat, you'll find an adjustable headrest, which I found pretty comfortable. Definitely can help find a comfortable position for you to sit or even sleep. You do have a fold out leg rest as well. May or may not be helpful depending on how tall you are. As you'll see from the passenger in front, the recline on these seats is absolutely excellent. So if you are a person who can sleep on a plane, you're probably going to have no troubles in ScootPlus. Though in my opinion, the recline is almost too good. Really makes it hard to get in and out of your seat, even if you get the other passenger to get out for you. Whilst the seat overall is pretty comfortable, it definitely does show signs of age. There definitely is a bit of wear and tear and a little bit of general untidiness around the cabin as well, in my opinion. With the meal service out of the way now, let's now have a look at the onboard lavatory, which I believe is for the exclusive use of ScootPlus passengers. But apart from that, very much looks pretty well a stock standard lavatory. Got everything you need, kept in fairly well condition, and yeah, clean and tidy. No complaints, but yes, certainly don't think it'd be anything different to what the folks out the back also have. Now that I'm back on my seat, let's have a look at the onboard entertainment available with Scoot. Long story short, there really isn't any, but believe it or not, you do get free Wi-Fi access when flying with ScootPlus. But yeah, it is a paltry 30 megabytes. They do have this Scoot Plus system where you can view the onboard menu, get some flight stats, also access some other information in that as well. The 30 megabytes did work, but yeah, pretty well was chewed up straight after connecting. Basically, if you've got automatic updates on your phone, you're going to chew it up straight away. But yeah, it could work for a little bit of basic messaging and that sort of stuff. But for anything else, you're going to need to book a more expensive package. Not worth it in my opinion. Another benefit of ScootPlus is access to a universal charging port for each seat, which is really good. Didn't have to pay for it like the folks out the back do. So yeah, you can plug in your MacBook, no problems charging that. Nearly accidentally charged it with my lightning cable, but yeah, luckily I didn't in the end. But yeah, I can then use that to charge my iPhone from the MacBook. So very, very convenient indeed. Onto the onboard menu now with Scoot, very similar to AirAsia in my opinion, with the range and selection available. Prices are in Singapore dollars, however, so are very comparable to that of Australia. A lot more expensive indeed. Hot meals are available. Strongly recommend you pre-book them to avoid disappointment, even if you do have a complimentary one included in Scoot Plus. Light snacks available as well, in addition to soft drinks, coffee, teas, and alcoholic beverages. Premium Japanese beer is 9 Singapore dollars. Very, very enjoyable indeed. Aside from that, the flight is really progressing quite nicely as we cross over into the early hours of the morning. Just watch a couple documentaries I downloaded on YouTube Premium. Not really tired tonight, so also get a head start on backing up the many gigabytes of video files for this flight review. And just like that, about 2:30 in the morning, we're already making our descent into Singapore Changi Airport. So I'll leave my final thoughts and verdict, what I think overall about the Scoot Plus experience and what market it best caters to until we get on the ground. But for now, what better time to just sit back, relax and enjoy our very early morning arrival into Singapore today.
to inform you that we have arrived ahead of schedule. It's been a pleasure having you with us today. On behalf of the entire team, we would like to thank you for flying Scoots, and we do look forward to welcoming you aboard again.
Now as we arrive into Singapore Changi Airport just prior to 3 AM early on a Sunday morning where it surprisingly is quite hustling and bustling, let me just reflect a little bit further on tonight's ScootPlus experience, who I think this product is best suited to, and whether I think it's worth the extra sort of cash spent when flying a budget airline. For me personally, would I consider myself likely to be a frequent flyer with ScootPlus again in the future? Probably not. But for this flight, considering the circumstances, considering the economy class fare on Scoot was about $450 before I had to add luggage or seat selection or anything like that, ScootPlus at $650 only came out marginally more than adding all the extras in economy, such as a meal, seat selection and baggage. So it's absolutely no-brainer for me in this circumstance when economy class fares were really expensive trying to book last minute during the Australian school holidays. That being said, it's pretty common to get a Scoot fare between Perth and Singapore for just $200 to $300. In that case, I certainly wouldn't be paying 2 to 3 times the price for ScootPlus. The other way of looking at it, many people often point that you can get a ScootPlus fare for a similar price to a Singapore Airlines economy fare. Definitely a lot of merit in this approach. Probably works best for a person who really just wants to have a comfortable seat, maybe get a better night rest than being seated in a much more cramped economy class seat. And yeah, they're happy to forego much of the soft products such as food and beverage in the process. That being said, however, you could always get an extra row seat, pay that little bit extra, get the best of both worlds on Singapore Airlines economy. So at the end of the day, I think Scoot is a fair product for a fair price for what it is. Don't forget, it's an absolute fraction of what a full fare business class passenger experience would be like. Because let's face it, seating alone, you do get a pretty comparable product to most business class products offered by narrow body airlines these days, with a few perks reminiscent of business class as well, albeit not much of soft product to match. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think I'll be sticking to budget low cost flights if I'm paying cash, or maybe I'll treat myself from time to time with a points redemption. About 20,300 points in economy for Qantas A330 or 57,000 points for the full experience in business, similar for Singapore Airlines. And just like that, welcome to Singapore, otherwise affectionately known as Lion City. Got in about 3 o'clock last night, so it was really late at night, really keen to just get straight to the hotel. But we find ourselves here on the Singapore River with the downtown skyline right behind me. We're going to check out Marina Bay soon as the sun goes down, maybe even check out Gardens by the Bay. But going back to yesterday evening's flight with Scoot in ScootPlus, overall I thought it was a pretty good experience for what it was. The $630 I thought was a fairly fair product in my opinion. It was only actually marginally more than economy given how expensive the economy airfares were, so it really was a no-brainer in that situation. So in summing up what I thought about ScootPlus, the seating very much was certainly a step ahead of those slogging it out in economy, bare bones economy out the back. Fairly similar, the hard product seating wise to a Virgin Rex or Qantas 737 business class. Maybe a slightly less polished seat, but certainly had plenty of recline and also had the extendable footrest, all that sort of stuff. So that was really good. No issues at all with legroom, that was really good. But yeah, apart from that, all very much a bare bones experience, no entertainment. Unfortunately, the Wi-Fi didn't work at any point in the flight as well. The only bad thing about the seating was it was really hard to get out of, especially being in a window seat. The recline was so good on the passenger in front. Even getting the person next to me to stand out of their seat, it's still really tricky to get out, especially when you've got power adapters plugged in as well. Crew were really friendly. They called me by name throughout the whole flight, so that was really good. Really appreciate that, very attentive service. And yeah, it was a very quiet and comfortable cabin, cordoned off from the rest of the flight. So would I fly ScootPlus again? The answer is possibly yes, possibly no. Really, if the price is right, in this particular situation, it was half the price of a Singapore Airlines economy flight. So a bit of a no-brainer for me, and only marginally more than Scoot bare bones economy. So no-brainer. But yeah, if you could get your usual $200–300 one-way Scoot flights between Perth and Singapore, I certainly wouldn't be paying $600, $800, $1,000, whatever the airfare might be in ScootPlus. So if you have enjoyed this ScootPlus flight review, really hope you found it informative and useful. If you have, really appreciate it. Do give it a like, leave your comments down below. Most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click that bell and notification button on, of course, if you do enjoy my content. In the meantime, you also visit my website, aussiejetsetter.com.au for latest and flight reviews, industry news, destination guides, frequent flyer hacks and more. Maybe even check out my dedicated Instagram page and Aussie JetSetter Shorts channel. Catch up with the short form content covering what I'm doing around the world in real time. Maybe even join my dedicated Discord server for fans and community of the channel. You can discuss all things aviation and travel there with me and fellow enthusiasts. But from here in Singapore, thanks so much for watching and safe travels wherever that might take you.